What's going on, my favorite biology students? Me, Mr. Summers, best person in the history of the world, coming to you live from the COVID-19 bunker, palatial Edina State. We're rocking Armstrong Falcon gear because it's a Falcon Friday. We'll walk through this Peppered Moth Lab. There's this Peppered Moth Lab virtual instructions, which I'll go through in a second. It's a lot more info than you need, but some things, these two links, Peppered Moth Lab Report Template and the Peppered Moth Data, when you click on them, you're going to get probably this screen that says DocsIQ, Refuse Connect. Remember, if you hit that thing in the upper corner there, it will pop this out. You can make a copy of it because that's what you're supposed to do. That's how the link works. And then once you got a copy, that's all the data you need. Clean, polluted environment. You got to do 3 trials of the lab, and to go from there. I've already done this once before. If you do the other one, which is this one, Peppered Moth Template, that will give you this, which is the template to how to write up the Peppered Moth Lab with the rubric at the end. The lab's pretty simple. You're pretending to be a bird in an environment. There will be moths that fly across the screen. You got to eat them, and count down % survivors of each one. Do 3 trials of the lab, and then it will average them out, and that is your data. I'll walk you through that in a second. But here are the instructions. So let's go through them because I care about you. It's not true, I don't care about anything. I'm rich. Oh wait, it's Friday. I do care about you. Hey, dead air. I'm sure that was super fun. What am I looking for? You. Nope. So, done to this thing here. Present. Killed it. Alright, Peppered Moth Lab, here it goes. Background, pretty simple. There were some moths living in an area. The background environment changed. Manchester, England, 1950s. This Dr. Henry Kettlebell noticed that there were dark moths living in dark areas. Clean forests typically had light moths. And he came up with this. So, first, if you didn't open up the lab report template, make sure you do. And then the first sentence starts the introduction, which is pretty easy. You should be able to do an introduction by now. It's late in the game. This is the link you need for Peppered Moths on Weebly.com, and then it gives you directions on how to get to the actual spot we're trying to get to. That part's pretty simple. And then follow the instructions, go through, click on the bird's eye view, come up with an independent and dependent variable. Remember, if you don't, independent variable is what is the difference between each time the experiment is done. Right? So think about that. You're running the experiment you're doing 2 different versions of the experiment, 3 trials of each. The dependent variable is what you are actually measuring. So if you have those ones on control, things that stay the same. Normally things that are controlled, if you didn't see it, the forest, the predators, the amount of time, blah, 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 things that are the same between the 2. So again, independent variable, what's the difference? Dependent variable, what are you measuring? And go from there. Then you will run 3 trials and go on to that one. If you don't know how to make a graph out of it, there's a slick little video here. I think it's from Miss Lounge. It could be Miss Rail, but we won't need to do that one right now. So I'm just going to bring up the Peppered Moths thing. There's what it looks like. You go through each one of those things, and it'll tell you about what the Peppered Moth does. Follow the instructions. But the last part is to do the actual lab, which is pretty easy. I'm not going to do the whole thing because that's ridiculous and you don't want to watch that. But here you go. Oh, look, there's a bird's eye view. There are 2, light and a dark forest. Light, dark, light, dark, light, dark. Once you click on the forest, it'll pop up. And I'm going to eat all of these things. Go me, I am so... Hey, eat that one. I'm gonna eat all these moths because I am awesome at life. Right? That's the lab. Okay? And then when you're done, like, everything has happened, and I think it's like 30 seconds long where they're just eating. I'm just like crushing these, but I'm talking to you at the same time. It's almost like if you haven't nominated me for Teacher of the Year, you probably should. I'm looking in your general direction. Ella Kruger, maybe you, Higgins, Perry, I would even take a nomination for drink wine. Ooh, there's something there. You're going to get eaten. You got eaten. And your mom, too. Too far. Too soon. Why did I miss that one? How did I miss the whole one? I got you, sucker. Right, when you're done, it'll tell you the 2% at the bottom. This one's 65 and 34, or whatever it might be as you get through this whole process. You don't need to watch me do that the entire time. And then you put those numbers down. Let's assume that I got like, hey, this is the trial 1. This is the light background. I got 65 for the light. That means I got 35 for the dark. And yay, right? And then you use that data to be able to get through this. So your goal right now for day 1 of the lab, which is Friday, April 3rd, is to get to the point in time where you have the data. So identify the variables, start collecting your data, and then run your 3 trials, enter it into your sheet, find the averages, and that is where you stop for the day. Beyond that, I'll do another one of these this weekend, and I'll go through the process of how to actually write out the rest of the lab report. So make sure you have on this document here, right, get your name up there. It's pretty easy. You should be able to remember that. Stuff is my name, right? And then your intro, which is answering the questions you found in those readings, and then the variables independent, dependent, and controlled. That's it. You get through that, while getting your data, you should be golden. Bless you. I cry every day. Me and Rich Schmickley talk about you guys every day, and then we both cry. Bye.